How's it going, guys? My name is Joe and welcome to a new video tutorial. I will be doing the volume profile over two videos. So the first one will just be a basic introduction to all the concepts, and then the second one I'll kind of go a little bit more in depth with how I use it. So we're going to be covering the VPVR, or the volume profile volume range. Now it is a paid for indicator on Tradingview, so you need a pro account. But I will drop the crypto cartel discount link in the video. Yeah, I mean, if you want to use the indicator, then sign up using our link and support the community. All right, so there's just a couple of things that I'm going to be going through in today's lesson. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. So basically, the biggest difference between a volume profile and like the original old volume is if you look at the volume candles, you'll basically be able to just get information about how much volume was done in a specific time period, right? But it doesn't really give you much information about areas of interest or areas where there is demand or supply, right? So what we're going to be doing today is I'm just going to be taking you guys through the fixed range, the session volume, and the visible range. I'm going to be giving you guys information about about the indicator and what it's got to offer, and then just like a small background. And then in tomorrow's video, I'll be giving you guys a lot more in depth, into the actual volume profile. So for a fixed range, basically you can pick the range like that, and you can get quite a bit of information about what's happening in the range that you've chosen. Okay, so let's just go through some of the names of the items. So you've literally got this is your volume profile. Okay, and like I said, it gives you more information about volume at a certain price rather than volume at a certain time. Okay, so it basically allows you to find areas of resistance and support, and it helps you to understand price action a little bit easier. Okay, so basically where do we start? Okay, so let's start with this. This is the value area, guys, the darker section, and this is the same thing. I mean, this is just normal volume, and then this is 70% of the highest trading volume. Okay, the green and this dark blue are buys, and the orange and this purple are selling volume. Okay, yeah, and then the blue over here, guys, are the developing value area. Okay, that's got a high and a low. And what you can see is these actually just show you the volume area. So, I mean, if you had drawn a line across from here and across from here, you would have your volume area over there. Okay, and obviously as it contracts and as it expands, you kind of got a feeling about what's going on with the price. Okay, and then you got a POC, which is always a straight line through the highest node. Okay, or where the most volume has taken place, at which price the highest volume has taken place, which can be seen as, if price is above it, can be seen as support, and if price is below it, it can be seen as resistance. So, I mean, you saw that it came in here, acted as a bit of resistance, as a bit of support, and then it came down here, supported it again a few times, and then when it broke through, it acted as resistance. And then there's the developing POC, which is this red line here. And the developing POC, as the range builds, the developing point of control actually moves with the price. Okay, so I mean, you won't really see major changes here. You can just see that price was going down, and currently it is underneath the price as well, which is it's turned into the actual POC. So it's showing some support as well. It also kind of gives you hints as to where the next resistance levels would be, So you would definitely find some resistance there, and then some resistance here with the VA and the developing POC. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that. So let me get rid of this one. I'll show you guys the session volume. Now the session volume basically is just the volume per session. The way that it's broken down is that each daily candle represents one session, okay? And you're not really going to see much. Even if I zoom in, it's very difficult to kind of see, but you can almost see on the daily, you know, where most of the volume was, and most of the volume will always be the wicks, okay? And then the smaller amount of volume would actually be the body of the candle, okay? But to get a better idea, let's just go to the 4 hour, okay? And you can kind of see how this helps you. It just takes a bit of time. Okay, there we go. So you can kind of see, like in the 4 hour area, in yesterday's session, where most of the volume was made, so kind of accumulated in this area, and then it pushed up higher, and then today it kind of accumulated, and now it's pushed down lower. But it has found support at yesterday's value area and yesterday's POC. So I mean, that's pretty interesting. But like I say, I still prefer using the visible range. Now with the visible range, basically what you guys can see, it takes all the information that's visible on your screen, and then it prints it on to its into its individual parts. So as I move the price here like this, you'll see it will actually start recalculating and then giving you some nice information on the indicator. Right, now for me, the only thing that I change on the input is this. I make that 120, okay, just so that I got a little bit more precision. The value area is still 70% of the volume, so it really takes 70% of the volume for it to turn this color. And then the developing POC, I just make a little bit thicker, and I change the color, and the POC I make a little bit thicker, just so you can see it. All right. So, what are the key characteristics of the volume profile? Okay, the volume profile, guys, is made up of, and let's just squeeze it down a little bit, is made up of high nodes, okay, or high volume nodes, and then low volume nodes, okay? And the low volume nodes is where not a lot of volume or not a lot of buying and selling has taken place. And the high volume nodes are obviously where a lot has taken place. And then the POC, like I said earlier, is represented, so the point of control is represented as the highest node, okay? Which would definitely in this case be support, okay? So when we're trending sideways, what you'll see, price will actually just move from a high volume node, and it'll try to fill the gap in a low volume node. And then it'll find resistance at a high volume node. And then it'll kick back and try make its way back to the POC. So I mean, there's a good chance that Bitcoin could actually make it back down to 8.1, especially with this super bearish engulfing black 4 hour candle here with high volume. But there is quite a big node in the 8.5 area, so it might support it on the top of that range. And if you were to draw in areas of support and resistance, we would probably look at this area over here as a support area. So price has come in there, and then it did act as a bit of resistance and consolidated through there. So that would be an area of support. Let's mark it in green. And then an area of resistance could probably be something like this. where you can see like on the 4 hour it was resistance here, it wasn't really support here, it did act as a bit of support here, and then it acted as, you know, large resistance now, and you can see that the resistance lines up with the high volume nodes, and the support kind of you know, lines up with the low volume nodes. Okay, so let's just remove those. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. And what I'll do is I'll actually show you guys how I use this to aid my trading. But for now, just know that the, you know, the volume range of 70%, you know, like if it's in the middle, we're kind of consolidating. And we'll probably, you know, during consolidation, every time price reaches low volume nodes or areas of low interest, you know, it will kind of reverse. And then every time it reaches high volume nodes, if price is underneath it, that'll be acting as resistance. And it'll try to figure its way out. But what I'm looking for Bitcoin finding support somewhere here, and then, you know, retesting this high volume node, getting a little bit more buy volume, and then maybe consolidating up here just before the top of the volume area, or the value area. And then you can see that it's got quite a nice low volume node. So I mean, you know, if price did get up to this area, it would really move quickly and break out to you know, the top of this, which is also indicated over there. So you can kind of see the confluence starting to work itself through on the indicator. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you've got any questions, hit me up on Twitter, or we can discuss it in the Discord. And then if you've got any questions that you want me to cover for tomorrow, I do have that Twitter link. I will put it in the video just so that you guys can reply to it, and then I'll cover as many questions as you can. But for now, this is pretty much where I'm going to leave you guys. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed the video. You know, subscribe, give us a like, give us a share, and we'll catch you soon. Cheers.